So I've recently done a track day at Pheasant Wood circuit at Marulan, and there was a few things that came up that I had problems with, and I just want to go through them with you at the moment. Now, the first one was the back brakes are from HZ, so the disc brakes, and these old pads on the other side, but I've got the wheel on that side, so I'll just show you on this side. Were coming out of the calipers and slipping around and getting wedged in between here. Lucky they didn't come out completely. I would have had no brakes. But the only thing that holds them in is this little pin here that slots into that hole there in the caliper. Now, on this one here, I've got a little gauge. Now, if I measure the distance or the thickness of the pin, it's only about just over 1 millimeter. Now, these ones I measured, they were just over 2 millimeters. So I don't know why these ones were so thin. As you can see, there's not much to lock them into that little slot there. So they kept coming out. I chucked them ones in the bin, and these ones feel like they fit a lot better. So the next problem that I had was the power steering fluid was getting really hot on this car. So I was getting to the point that when I took the cap off after each run, there was virtually steam coming out of it. It was that hot, and I couldn't touch it. The paint was melting and coming off every time I touched it with a rag until it cooled down. And by the end of the day, the power steering was making funny noises. I'm pretty sure I've overheated it and worn it out a bit, that pump. So what I've got is a new one here, brand new one, because you can't buy those other ones again, from a VT or a VN style. So I've got the bracket. I'm just waiting for some spacers to come in that I've ordered in, and I'm hoping this helps as well. I've got some racing power steering fluids for high temperature and stuff like that, so I'm going to give that a go as well. Another thing I'm upgrading, or just an upgrade, is I've got these tyres here. They're 245/50s on the 14s, some old rims I had. Just wanted to give them a go over the old stock 205/60s on the 15-inch rims, just to see what difference it makes. Another problem I've had is when I was coming onto the straight, it seemed to be surging and running out of fuel. So I'm installing a electric fuel pump at the moment, just to boost the mechanical pump. So I've mounted one, I don't know if you can see it, just up in there, and I'm going to, there it is there. I still haven't connected the fuel hose to it yet. I've just mounted it, so I'm going to connect the fuel hose and then run this cable up to the front, so that when you turn the ignition on, it powers up the fuel pump. So I'm just going to install a relay, and I'll show all that in my next video. But the only other thing I found, the only oil leak I found, was the rear of the gearbox. Seemed to be coming out. Alright, there he is. Yes, that seems to be all spewing out oil. Not too much, but enough just to make it all nice and shiny under here. I don't know how much actual fluid I've lost, but yeah, I've ordered in some new seals, so a new seal for that rear of the gearbox, and I'm going to put that in as well. But there was no other oil leaks anywhere else, so I'm really happy about that. There's the new tyre on the front. Yeah, so everything else is going fine. So I'm trying to get it ready for Wakefield, or what they call it, One Raceway now, which is in August. And yeah, I should have it all ready by then.